Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are digging into something called the AI strategy gap. It's a huge pivot facing professional service providers, especially managed service providers or MSPs.
Yes.
And we're not talking about some far off future concept. This is about AI impacting business, well, right now, today.
It absolutely is. And the source material we analyzed this week, it comes with a pretty stark warning.
Oh, yeah.
For MSPs who, choose to ignore this wave or who just stay focused on managing infrastructure, the commoditized stuff, they're looking at a very real risk of losing 20% of their revenue.
20% by when?
By 2027. That timeline is, it's immediate. It makes this less of a strategic chat and more of a survival guide.
20% revenue loss in just 3 years. That's about as high stakes as it gets. And this urgency, it isn't just a hypothetical. We've got data from Thomson Reuters that really backs this up. They found that 8 out of 10 professionals, they're predicting AI will have a transformational or at least a high impact on their work. And that's within the next 5 years. So, everyone's talking about it, but the real question is, who is acting on it?
And what's really illuminating is the scale of this perception.
Yeah.
When these professionals rank all these different disruptive forces,
Right.
the rise of AI and generative AI specifically is seen as having nearly double the transformational impact of any other business force we typically worry about.
Wait, double? Double the impact of what?
Of anything.
Mm-hmm.
That includes a huge explosion in data volumes, the crazy speed of regulatory change, or even major shocks like a recession or the cost of living crisis.
Wow. Double the impact of a recession. That really puts the stakes into perspective for you, the listener.
That does.
So our mission today is to break down this AI strategy gap. We're going to provide a blueprint for how MSPs can stop being just a cost center, a line item.
A transactional vendor.
Exactly. And shift to becoming an indispensable, high-margin revenue partner for their clients.
It really comes down to changing the conversation, moving from talking about the client's firewall to talking about their quarterly revenue goals.
Okay, let's unpack that. This competitive divide that's opening up. The sources talk about a clear split in the market, the AI strategy gap.
Yeah, organizations are basically sorting themselves into two camps. You have those with a visible, clear AI strategy, and then you have everyone else who's still waiting.
Hesitating.
Hesitating, yeah. And the data shows that hesitation is already costing them.
How so?
Organizations with that visible AI strategy are 2 times more likely to see actual measurable revenue growth from their AI efforts.
2 times. That's a staggering multiplier. And I'm guessing that growth isn't just theoretical.
No, not at all. The return on investment, it confirms it. A remarkable 81% of those organizations with a clear strategy are already reporting a positive ROI. They know what problem they're trying to solve.
81% ROI for the ones with the plan. Okay, so what about the other side? The organizations dragging their feet, maybe buying tools here and there without a real strategy.
Well, the difference is it's night and day. For organizations with no significant AI plan, only 23% are seeing any ROI at all.
Only 23%.
They might be spending the money, but they just don't have the focus to turn that spend into results. The warning is pretty clear. If you fail to develop a visible AI strategy this year,
Right now.
the research suggests you risk falling way behind your competition within 3 years. That gap is being created as we speak.
Okay, so this isn't a long-term planning issue, it's a today issue. If we're pivoting to be a revenue partner, we have to know where the client is actually hurting. And the sources say their main pain isn't tech.
No, it's inefficiency. It's what the blueprint calls leaking revenue.
Leaking revenue.
Absolutely. Just think about a typical small to mid-sized business, your average MSP client, a law firm, an accountant, home services. They're losing business not because their work is bad, but because their process for getting clients is, it's manual, slow, and fragile.
And the analysis gets really specific here, which I love. It identifies 4 common bottlenecks that cause this revenue leakage. Let's go through them. First up, missed calls and inquiries.
This is a huge one. Leads are coming in 2047 from everywhere, right? Web forms, chat, SMS, phone calls after hours, social media DMs. If that business can't respond instantly, that prospect just clicks on the next search result. They go to a competitor, and the moment is it's gone.
I can totally see that. Okay, the second bottleneck, slow follow-up.
This is where manual processes just kill you. A great lead comes in, say, Friday afternoon. It sits in an inbox.
Until Monday morning.
Right. And by the time a person gets to it, the lead is cold. Or worse, they've already signed with somebody else. It just slips through the cracks.
The third one feels like a massive time suck. No qualification.
Exactly. You've got expensive sales staff who should be closing deals. Instead, they're spending most of their day chasing down unqualified prospects, just trying to find out if they're even a good fit.
Wasting time on vetting instead of selling.
Completely.
Yeah.
And that leads right into the fourth one, which is just a headache for every SMB admin overload.
Right.
Your staff are stuck doing repetitive stuff. Scheduling, data entry. Think about a paralegal spending hours a day just trying to schedule calls instead of doing actual legal work. It's a direct threat to growth.
So that brings us to what you're calling the MSP crossroads. If you, the listener, just keep managing IT infrastructure, you're a commodity.
You are a line item on a budget. When times get tough, you're shopped on price. It's a race to the bottom.
But the other path?
The other path is to offer solutions that fix those 4 business problems. When you stop revenue leakage, you stop being a cost center and you become a revenue driver. That's how you create those sticky, high-value relationships.
So to get there, you have to become more than just a tech vendor. You have to be an indispensable business advisor. And there's research on this, right, from IDC and the CIO Executive Council.
Yeah, they break down what makes a true strategic partner into 4 pillars. Pillar number 1 is client and market knowledge. It means you're proactively identifying challenges the client hasn't even mentioned yet. You're thinking ahead for them. But the research shows only about 46% of vendors are actually doing this.
So there's a huge opportunity gap right there.
A massive one. For anyone willing to shift their focus from tech tickets to, business outcomes.
Seeing around corners for them. Okay, what's pillar 2?
Pillar 2 is collaboration. Blurring the lines between buyer and seller, bringing in other experts to solve problems, basically becoming the quarterback of their growth strategy.
And the third?
Third is responsiveness. And the CIO said this was the number 1 most important category.
The most important?
The most important. It's about rapid, effective execution, delivering results quickly, and being willing to have those tough, honest conversations when you need to. Speed builds trust.
No doubt. And the last pillar, this one feels like the biggest shift.
It is. It's shared risk-reward. Focusing on outcome-based results, tying your compensation, at least in part, to the measurable impact you deliver.
That sounds a little terrifying for an MSP used to flat-rate billing. How do you even approach that?
Well, the blueprint suggests starting with a tiered model where you guarantee a certain level of performance, maybe a minimum number of qualified leads per month. The point is, only 40% of vendors are open to this right now.
So it's a huge differentiator.
It's the new frontier. If you want to be indispensable, you have to tie your value to their results.
That makes a ton of sense. But how does an MSP, a small shop maybe, pivot to offering these complex AI systems without hiring a bunch of new engineers?
That's the smartest part of the blueprint. You use a white label model.
Okay.
You leverage a partner that specializes in this. They handle all the complexity, the tools, the AI, the maintenance, and you deliver it to the client under your own brand. You get the value without all the overhead.
So let's talk about the fix itself. What are the core functions of this AI system that solves those 4 bottlenecks?
Okay, there are 3 core functions, all running 24/7. First is multi-channel lead capture. The system is always on, grabbing every lead from every channel. Web, chat, SMS, phone.
So nothing gets missed?
Nothing. The immediate benefit is just a measurable increase in the number of raw leads the client gets.
Okay, and second, to fix the slow follow-up problem.
Intelligent qualification and nurturing. This is the smart assistant. The AI sends instant, personalized, two-way responses that sound human. It asks qualifying questions, and if the lead isn't ready to buy...
It just keeps them warm.
Exactly. It nurtures them with automated follow-ups until they show buying signals. It massively increases conversion rates.
Which frees up the humans. And the third function?
Automated calendar booking. Once a lead is qualified, the AI assistant just books the meeting directly on the sales team's calendar. No more back and forth emails.
Wow.
The sales team just shows up to meetings with qualified prospects. They spend their time selling, not scheduling.
I was really struck by that hybrid org chart concept in the sources.
Oh, that's a great way to visualize it. The AI augmented model. It showed a firm with 22 human employees, but they'd integrated 34 specialized AI agents.
Things like an audit bot or a lead score.
Right. And that model allows the firm to scale its revenue by 25% or more without having to hire a dozen new people. The AI agents just augment the human team.
And this has to integrate with what the client already uses.
Absolutely. It's non-negotiable. A white label system syncs with their existing CRM, whether it's HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever. It positions the MSP as the strategic integrator who unifies all their data.
Okay. Let's get to the best part, the financial upside. What's the opportunity here for an MSP?
It's significant. This isn't being sold as a cheap add-on. Research from LAK Consulting shows companies are charging anywhere from 30% to 110% above their base pricing for these AI features.
So it's positioned as a premium product.
Absolutely. It solves a billion-dollar problem: revenue leakage.
So let's use the numbers from the blueprint. If an MSP sells this AI-powered growth engine for, say, $750 a month in recurring revenue.
Right. If you get just 5 of your existing clients on that program, you're looking at about $15,000 in pure annual profit, because the overhead is so low with the white label model.
And if you scale that to 20 clients,
now you've added around $60,000 in additional high-margin annual profit. It completely changes the financial DNA of that MSP. You go from being a reseller to a real growth engine.
But this means you're handling their most sensitive data, their sales pipeline. Trust has to be absolute.
It's the bedrock. The sources lay out 4 pillars for this. First, a serious service level agreement, 99.9% uptime. Second, rigorous annual security audits, things like SOC2 Type 2.
And why does an audit like SOC2 matter to the client?
Because it's an external guarantee. It's a third party verifying that you have the controls in place to manage their confidential data securely over time. It says, we can be trusted with your revenue.
Got it. What are the other pillars?
Third is just total adherence to data privacy standards like GDPR and CCPA. And the fourth is maybe the most important one today, an ethical AI framework.
What does that mean in practice?
It's a guarantee. A promise that the client's confidential sales data is never used to train third-party AI models. You're guaranteeing them total data ownership and privacy.
That is a powerful commitment.
It's what separates a true partner from a typical vendor who just, sells a license and disappears. The partner handles the complexity and guarantees the outcome.
So to wrap this all up, the path to avoiding that 20% revenue drop is clear.
It is. Stop managing commodity tech and start delivering transformational, measurable growth for your clients.
Increase your high-margin MRR, solve their biggest inefficiency problems, and you permanently become that trusted business advisor.
You're paid for value, not just for time.
You move the conversation from my printer is broken to how do we hit our quarterly lead goals? I mean, that is the definition of indispensable.
And that really brings us to the final thought for you, the listener. We know strategic partnerships require that shared risk-reward model, and we know only 40% of vendors are even open to it. So the question is, how quickly do you have to reevaluate your business model to focus on measurable results, not just services rendered, to stay competitive and, frankly, to stay relevant in this new AI economy?